Hyunckel has one magic. Like, literally one magic. He doesn't have any passive boosts either. I don't know what the lore behind this is, but that's pretty funny. Immortal Hyunckel's Trustmaster reward is an accessory that boosts attack and spirit. Despite having the same name as the hero's Trustmaster rewards, Hyunckel's doesn't boost elemental resistance at all. Instead, when carrying a single sword or spear, it boosts your unit's equipment attack and spirit by 75%. Given equipment spear boosts are relatively rare, this could be useful, but the effect is locked by carrying either a sword or spear. When equipped onto Hyunckel, it boosts his attack and spirit by a flat 250. His Super Trustmaster reward is a two-handed spear that can only be held by magic tanks. A completely horrible limitation, given that there are, that's right, 0 other magic tanks that can equip a spear anyways. Of course, with an equipped spear materia you could get around this, but I thought it was pretty funny. Regardless, on the one magic tank that really cares, this spear is excellent, given it boosts most elemental resistance by 20%, has strong attack and spirit, and has stone and spirit killer plus, which, cool. When equipped onto Hyunckel, it gives him an extra 500 attack and spirit. Onto his active abilities. Hyunckel's attacks scale off his attack stat and chain with Bolting Strike. Cover, Magic 1, can be upgraded all the way to level 5. It boosts your team's stats by 230%, grants them a 50% general mitigation buff, a 50% magic mitigation buff, and the cover values get stronger once you upgrade it. Provoke 2 is Provoke, but it gives Hyunckel a 75% general mitigation buff. Airstrike inflicts an 85% attack and magic break, though the initial hits are pretty weak unless you're fighting a demon. Apparently they're making it normal, but not yet, so for the time being it is what it is. Earth Strike boosts his attack by 400% and then deals a single blow. Wave Strike is the weakest ability here, but in exchange it boosts your team's fire and ice resistance by 100%. I will bet on the Light of Justice inflicts an 88% attack and magic break, gives your team a 70% general mitigation buff, a 70% magic mitigation buff, a 80% magic mitigation buff against demon and stone type enemies, and boosts your team's light and dark resistance by a whopping 200%. This is the power of a human risking his life, can be used once per battle. It boosts Hyunckel's limit burst damage by 200% and fills his limit burst gauge. Indomitable Fighter requires a portion of his limit burst gauge to use. It restores 20,000 HP, 1,000 MP, and imbues light onto him. Passives. With his Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Hyunckel automatically casts Fighting Disciple when he enters the battle, which will fill his limit burst gauge if it's at max level, boosts his limit burst damage by 150%, and gives him a 75% general mitigation buff for the first 5 turns. The man also has 4 strong killers, meets the full cap to limit burst damage and limit burst regen, and has a good boost to physical and magic evasion. He prefers to carry a single weapon, and meets half the cap to the chain limit boost. His normal attack has been changed to Upgrade Attack, which fills a portion of his limit burst gauge and chains with Bolting Strike. His passive Provoke isn't really that great though, only 30%. At EX plus 2 he gets 3 Guts buffs. At EX plus 3 he gets 500 attack and spirit. His elemental resistance is pretty neat, everything except lightning. Maybe he's weak against main characters, I don't know. Let's look at his limit burst. Inflicts an 87% attack and magic break, grants Hyunckel a powerful demon, stone, and reaper killer buff, and deals damage that gets stronger with the second use. As a super limit burst damage dealer, Hyunckel has access to attack shift, which automatically boosts his attack by 250%, his limit burst damage by 200%, and fills his limit burst gauge when the super limit burst is ready to go. The super limit burst raises the magic break to 89%, inflicts a 120% light imperil, raises the killer buff to 250%, and deals strong light damage. The super limit burst has actually been buffed compared to the Japanese version, raising the strength of the killers and its damage modifier. Let's rank Brave abilities. Raising both just raises their damage modifiers, and Airstrike is stronger than Earth Strike. Time to make a damage rotation. I'll assume your enemy is weak to light. On turn 1, cast Indomitable Fighter. On turn 2, activate his limit burst. On turn 3, cast This is the power of a human risking his life, Earth Strike and Air Strike. On turn 4, use his limit burst. On turn 5, his super limit burst is ready, so go ahead and activate that. Repeat the rotation from here, though since you won't be able to use his limit burst as much, just switch that with 1 Earth Strike and 2 Air Strikes. So, EX2. As a super limit burst damage dealer, Hyunckel automatically benefits from additional EX awakenings. Other than that, it's a bit iffy though. EX plus 2 gives him 3 Guts buffs and his Super Trustmaster reward. The Guts buffs are nice but not critical, while his Super Trustmaster reward may or may not be replaced depending on the fight. Since Hyunckel can equip shields, it opens up quite a few possibilities for maximum tanking potential, though of course this really depends on the fight. EX plus 3 is stats. And expensive. So how good is Immortal Hyunckel? He's either a strong physical attacker or an excellent magic tank, but given the way most equipment works, he's really only going to be one or the other. It might be a bit tough to go all in on one aspect without sacrificing either some offensive or defensive properties, but regardless of which one you choose, Hyunckel will have a good baseline to work off. Light physical damage is currently populated with powerful candidates, so unfortunately Hyunckel will have a tough time standing out there. In terms of active abilities, he's definitely one of the better magic tanks, though most players will likely prefer Chao, but who can blame them? I would too. Either way, Hyunckel's a decent unit, whose fame really stems from 2 rows that aren't commonly shared. Maybe that's for good reason, but hey, worth a shot. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you summon Immortal Hyunckel. Given the way this banner works, you might end up getting someone else while trying to get him. Not knowing anything about the original series, I'm not quite sure if he's a villain or not. I'm guessing he was? Maybe? Either that or they just put him with these 2 bad guys because they ran out of space.